Hey everyone, welcome to QuickBooks for Real Estate Investors. Glad you could join me today. This is going to be part 8 of our continuing video series, and we're still in the phase of kind of getting things together. We're still setting up our chart of accounts, we're still getting familiar with QuickBooks, and we haven't actually made any transactions yet, really, besides adding some money to our bank account. Today I want to continue along that path. You might have heard me say this, but the chart of accounts is really the most important part, in my opinion, of your QuickBooks-based software. So you want to have a strong chart of accounts. I think of it as your vertebrae, your backbone, whatever you want to call it. It's the part of QuickBooks that makes the rest of it work really well. And so we're spending some time getting that straight now, and I'm spending some time showing you how I would do it, so that you can have success when you go to start up your QuickBooks business. So today we're going to continue right along, like I said. So we're going to hit Control A, which opens the chart of accounts. I love the keyboard shortcuts. You'll hear me use those all the time, but there's always more than one way to get to the same spot. You don't have to hit Control A if you don't like to. The other place of the chart of accounts is in Lists and then Chart of Accounts. Anyway, so from setup, from the initial QuickBooks setup, we selected a multi-member LLC, and that means that QuickBooks decided to add some equity accounts here for us, and it decided to name those accounts Member 1 and Member 2. If you are a sole proprietor or you are a single member LLC, you don't have this Member 1 and Member 2 draws in equity. You will have you'll probably just have retained earnings, and you might have draws. I'm not quite sure actually how QuickBooks would set that up. But today I'm just going to go through renaming these and just kind of talk through a little bit about what this means, because a lot of people get tripped up on the equity part of accounting, especially those of you guys who are just pure investors, and you think of equity as how much house do I own, which is kind of the right way, but it's how much business do I own instead of how much house or how much property do I own. So the first thing I'm going to do is just edit these accounts, and I think it's important to describe your members by name instead of number, because as you work through QuickBooks, you will probably forget who Member 1 is and Member 2, and especially if you've got a LLC structure where you might have a general partner or a managing partner, and you might have some other silent partners. It's good to have their names and information in here. You might have an LLC with 10 members. You might have a fund, and you want to have everyone here broken out by name. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to change this to a fictitious name here. I like Billy Bob Thornton, so we're going to use him. How do you spell his last name? Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton, I think. Okay, so all I've done is erased Member 1 and put in this person's name. So for you, whatever name you want to use, it could be your name, it could be your partner's name, it could be other people invested in, other members of the LLC who have invested in the business. I'm going to leave all this other stuff blank, Control Enter, Save and Close. I'm going to do the same here for equity. So each member has a drawing account and each member has an equity account. And the difference is draws is like it sounds. It's when Billy Bob wants to take money out of the LLC, or when Billy Bob is entitled to receive a disbursement from the LLC, kind of like a dividend for corporate shareholders. But since this company is set up as an LLC, we can't really call it a dividend. We have to call it a draw. That is the language or the vocabulary for an LLC. If we had a C corporation, definitely it would be dividends. But it would be you wouldn't really put it in anybody's name. It would be structured a little bit differently, but it would be dividends paid. So think of this as a disbursement from the company to this member. This account will always be negative or 0. If this account is positive, we've got a little bit of a problem. Generally, you're not going to put anything that Billy Bob would contribute. Actually, always, you're not going to put anything that Billy Bob would contribute back to the LLC in a drawing account. This is only to take money out. This account, member 1 equity, which I will edit to be Billy Bob equity. I think that's how you spell his last name. I'm not sure. Somebody help me out on that one. Oops, I forgot the Y. There we go. So anyway, equity account is where Billy Bob would make his contributions as a member to this LLC. So when Billy Bob decides that he's going to buy in to this fund, or he's going to start this business with his partner, or he's going to inject some more cash into the business because it's needed to buy into the property, whatever it might be, this account will track how much money Billy Bob's put in and how much of that money is left for him to take out if the business folded. We'll get into more of that later, so don't worry about that now. But just think of equity as a place where you put money into, and draws is where you take money away. So draws is always going to be negative or 0. Equity can be negative, and if you're in a negative equity spot, your business probably isn't looking too good. But equity can be negative. It can be 0. Most times we want it to be positive, and most times it will be positive. So I'm going to do the same here for member 2. And I'm trying to think of somebody else. There's another name I can think of. How about Katy Perry? Just because she's in the news, Katy Perry draws. So Katy Perry and Billy Bob Thornton have gone into business together, and I'm going to use them as my names of this business. I don't even like Katy Perry's songs. I just know her name. I've heard her. That's probably not even how you spell her name. Whatever. So, okay, if you've got more than 2 members in your LLC, you'd have to add some more members. And I'll do one example just so you know how to do that. Just like before, we're going to follow the same protocol where we do Control-N, or we come down here to the bottom left and go to Account and New. But I like the keyboard, so Control-N. And I'm going to down arrow a couple times until I get to Equity. I'm going to hit Spacebar in Equity. And you can see QuickBooks gives a pretty little description here of what equity is. It says tracks money invested in or money taken out of the business by owners or shareholders. Basically what I said earlier in a nice, neat fashion here. So we want to select equity and continue. Again, this is going to follow the same setup as the other 2 accounts. We want to have a drawing account and we want to have an equity account. So whatever person you're working with, who's another person in the news? We'll do Obama. This is a funny LLC. So Barack Obama draws. I was going to do Bashar al-Assad, but I don't think many people would like that. Syria's in the news. Okay, so you know what? I don't like that. We're not getting political. I'm going to change that. How about Garth Brooks? Okay. So Garth Brooks draws. We're going to do another Control-N, down arrow to equity, Control-Enter, brings us to the next screen. And we're going to name this just the same, Garth Brooks Equity. And we're going to save and close. Huh. I wonder why that doesn't match up. Why those are not together like the rest of them. Let's see if I resort these. There they go. I just didn't have them sorted. Okay, so we've got Billy Bob Thornton draws, equity, Garth Brooks draws, equity, Katy Perry draws, equity. If you've got more members than 3, you'd have to follow that Control-N and keep adding members. And everybody who's a member of your LLC needs to have an equity and a drawing account. even if they're never going to take any money out, but they're still a member. You need to have a drawing account, just to make it nice and tight. So that's it for this video. Leave me a question if you don't understand. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know how I'm doing. If you've got a specific problem, you can email me or message me, and I will see if I can make a video to help you out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.